What's up, everybody? It's Doc Fortune, just making sure this all looks right before I get going. Tried to do a stream yesterday, but I forgot Valve does server maintenance on their games on Tuesdays. So it lagged like crazy and it made it borderline unwatchable, and I blamed it on a bunch of things that it didn't have anything to do with. It was just, if you're ever playing Team Fortress on a Tuesday, it's gonna suck because they work on the servers. So, been trying to motivate myself to work on games in Unity, to learn Unity. Went to work last night. I have a lot of free time on the night shift to just do this. So basically from 12 in the morning to 3 in the morning, I was trying to get the hang of it. I took ChatGPT and I told it what I wanted to do. I gave it a bunch of parameters. And I tried to keep it simple, and I tried to just stick to having it teach me step by step as a novice with fucking Ubercharged Pyro. To just give me basic step by step instructions on how to achieve what I want, which is I'm trying to make basically a Dota clone. I just want to have it my way like Burger King, so you know, I don't want to be subject to Riot Games. I don't want to really have to learn how to... Sorry, getting a little bit focused on the game. I don't want to learn how to have to be good at Dota, because it's cool and it looks cool, and I'm sure it's the best because it's the first. But when I tried to learn Dota, I feel like a mentally handicapped person who doesn't have use of their hands. Like, I'm so bad at it that it's not even funny. You would think like playing League of Legends for 10 years would translate some kind of skill over into Dota, but it feels differently, it plays differently, it is more RTS-like than it is like a little arcadey, you know, hero brawler or hero kind of, I don't know what the fuck a MOBA is. MOBA is like a dumb word because they just invented it so that they wouldn't have to call the game Dota. It kind of sounds like Dota, MOBA, Dota, but really every League of Legends, Heroes of New Earth, you know, Pokemon Unite, all of that shit is just a clone of Defense of the Ancients, so try to refer to that as a Dota clone. But that's what I'm trying to go for, and I was like, given the AI very simple instructions, you know, just, hey, the point is the other way, stupid. Where the fuck are y'all all at, running away from the goddamn point? My whole team running the other fucking direction. Alright, we're not going to play this anymore. Let's go to King of the Hill. Let's uncheck Kong King so that we don't get that map anymore. And let's try again. So I put in all the instructions. And then I sort of read through the plan that ChatGPT had recommended. And I was like, all right, that sounds like it'll probably work. I don't know a fucking thing about any of this, but it sounds like it's probably in the right direction. So then I told it, you know, assume I'm in the project. I have a new project open in Unity. It's blank. There's nothing in it. Tell me what to do, step by step. And it was a lot of bullshit. Not as hard as you might think, especially if you're a programmer or if you're experienced with game engines or any of that kind of stuff. But knowing virtually nothing about how to do it, except for a few, like I've done the basic tutorial in Unity. It's boring as shit. I don't know why we joined a fucking match that was already over. It's boring as shit, and it doesn't like teach you anything that you're gonna remember. It's like, here's how to add an object. Now move the ramp over to this platform and use it to get the little dealy bob that we have in the sky. And it just doesn't fucking teach you really how to do. Like, if you have something specific in mind that you want to do, it doesn't teach you shit. And there's a lot of resources. You can like get certifications and shit on Unity. You can go on their website and they'll put you through all these courses. I don't know if you got to pay for them, if they're free. A lot of their stuff used to be free. I don't really want to be a scout for this. This is payload. So why don't we go ahead and get out the Hulong heater. Congo with these guys. Yeah. So first thing I try to do is try to have it help me build a map for my Dota clone. And we're using like an arena that was 500 by 500, I don't know, units. That's basically what they call them in Unity. We got a guy right away. Let's just try to get out of here without fucking being sniped to death. Yeah, there's two guys up there just fucking hemming us into our spawn. So I just want to push the cart and be a good teammate, but then I hate snipers and I become overwhelmingly filled with an undying rage to just ruin the game for them the way that they ruin the game for me, which is to constantly be in their face and harass them and to never give them a second to breathe and constantly have a phantom dick up their ass. The Hulong heater I like for pressing the cart because it puts a ring of fire around you, which helps cut down on being backstabbed by spies. The downside of the Hulong heater is that it uses ammo to stay spun up, but in payload you're moving a cart that gives you constant health and ammo, so it doesn't matter that it's costing you ammo to keep the barrel spinning on your minigun. Yeah, so a lot of what I did in Unity was it would tell me how to create this object, and then it would tell me like where to put it on the XY axis so that it would line up perfectly. And then it would get it wrong a whole bunch of times and I have to be like, nope, that shit that you told me didn't work. And it would go, ah, good catch. And it would correct itself and fucking come up with a new set of directions, and then I would painstakingly follow those. And then I would go, nope, that shit didn't work. And it would go, oh, now I see what you were trying to do. Let's try a different approach. Delete all of the shit that I just had you do and fucking do this instead. And it's like, basically I got nowhere at the end of it because it either kept telling me how to do it wrong or it kept misinterpreting what I wanted and then having to like retool its instructions. And god damn, I want to kill this guy. Did he just fucking die? He took like 10 million bullets and lived. So yeah, I painstakingly did a bunch of XY axis bullshit, entering into a bunch of little boxes. All the things that I said was the most tedious fucking part of game design in my other streams. All the things that I said that were an obstacle or a barrier to entry for me actually like giving a shit and trying to put the time in. I put about 4 hours of work in last night, and the result is I'm a little bit more familiar with the user interface and the kinds of objects that you add and sort of some things that you can do, materials, add materials to things, but I don't really feel that much closer to even having like the basic thing that I wanted, which was just a map that's kind of like Summoner's Rift. And it was like several times the AI would have me do all of this shit, get it wrong, and then it's like, well, we're not even going to do that anymore. We're going to try a new way. So I don't know if it was like secretly trying to backdoor, like teach me the basics by having me stumble through a bunch of crap, or if it's just stupid and it doesn't know what it's doing. Unity does have its own AI, but I watched a video of an experienced guy, an experienced programmer, and he was basically just trying to get it to do some basic things. Like, it was like, can Unity make a whole game? Can it do this instruction? Can it do that instruction? And the answer on most of the things was no. Not really the way that he wanted it to. You could kind of finagle it and fuck with it and maybe get close. And it could do some limited things, but the trailer for the Unity AI makes it look real fucking impressive. Like you can just type a bunch of prompts into a fucking game and then I mean, into the AI, and then it's going to basically like generate all the basic things that you need. So I have not, you know, for those of you wondering if it's possible or not, maybe possible but not probable. I definitely like using an AI to try and figure out what I want to do was more useful than watching videos of people try to explain it. Because people always do things a certain way that may not work in your version of Unity, or they might have an idea of kind of like let's say designing a MOBA or designing League of Legends, but they only talk of like one specific part of doing that, like character and how to add skill indicators and shit like that. It's like, well, that doesn't tell me a fucking thing about how to make the map that I want and how to get the minions to spawn and how to get them to path and follow and stop at the towers and attack the towers and attack each other, but then attack the enemy if the enemy, you know what I mean, if they draw aggro and all that. It doesn't tell you like any of that shit. So what the fuck good is a video, you know, 5 videos about how to add skill indicators to fucking characters, you know, if you can't do any of the rest of the stuff. So it's like the shit is really just too niche for finding like YouTube videos and tutorials. There's not enough, like, nobody cares about this genre enough anymore to have, like, you know, Dota and League of Legends kind of have the market cornered, and they have like their old faithful fan base, and they're not really gaining a lot of new players, and there's not like companies coming out that are creating, you know, new MOBAs. So I mean, and nobody would give a fuck even if they did, because it's a punishing, like, difficult genre. How the game works, all the basic stuff of the controls and abilities are not hard to learn in those games. But the strategy, the timing, the teamwork, the rotations, the God damn it! Fucking goddamn spy again! I was even spinning my barrel and he set him on fire, but it didn't do a goddamn thing. He still backstabbed me. I mean, it's just aggravating because it takes 10 goddamn years to walk to this fucking cart, and then you get backstabbed and die in 1 second. I'm beating the shit out of you, you stupid asshole. Yeah, so we got some medics at least. Neither one of them's fucking healing me, but 2 medics. Yeah, so you are wasting your time if you go up and look at, like, it's a video with 6 things on the playlist and it tells me how to make a MOBA in Unity. You're wasting your fucking time, okay? Because it's not user-friendly. It's not really going to tell you exactly what you want to do. As imperfect as the AI is, I still recommend, if you're just trying to teach yourself how to make a game in an engine like Unity or Godot or Unreal, I would recommend that you still just ask the fucking robot, because it can pull up from a million different sources all over the web and formulate it in a way that is like specific to the question you're asking, instead of you have to watch an unrelated video about a bunch of shit that doesn't have anything to do with what you're trying, and then you're sitting through it for all the parts until you get a sliver of what you need, and then where are you going to find the rest of the info? Like, right? Like, these guys in their tutorial videos are making videos for people who already fucking know how to make games. They're not making videos for people who don't know anything about it. They assume that you know all the fucking buttons and gizmos. They assume that you understand, like, what all the objects are called in the game. They assume that you understand all the terminology, and that you've made some stupid fucking glow-in-the-dark donut in Blender, and that you've done the ball jumping, like you've made a ball into a platformer, and now the ball jumps through a bunch of... They assume that you've done all that shit. And I haven't, because I don't care to. It's a waste of fucking brain power to make all these games I'm not interested in. What I'm interested in is finding out how to very specifically do the thing that I care about, which is make a game that I want. So I don't know what to do next. it's frustrating to work with the AI because it fucks up, and then you have to explain to it that it fucks up. Then it has to figure out how it fucked up. Then instead of just fixing the problem, it comes up with a whole new goddamn way of how to do it. And now suddenly you're like learning an entire new thing. It kind of seems similar to what you were trying to do, but you're not exactly sure if it's going to lead anywhere useful or if it's going to... I'm going to actually, you know, play an engineer. I talk shit and rag on the engineers all the time, but in maps like this, it's useful because we're defending. And this is just the pregame. The match hasn't started yet, so none of this matters. That's why I'm just fucking around. We got 30 seconds till the match starts. Let's put some lasers into this little punk bitch. This guy's being nice. We'll leave him alone. Oh, he's not being nice anymore. Yeah, so I really wanted to try and put some effort into it instead of talking about it all the time and never getting anywhere, or what else? We want to throw a teleporter right down here, just as low as we can get it. There we go. I'm going to put a dispenser in this corner and then take this metal. Let's see if there's some metal. Yeah, I'll take this.
Mission begins in 30 seconds.
We're going to set this right here. It might not be the best spot for it. Get our sentry built up. Somebody was nice enough to hammer our teleporters up to level 3. So that's cool.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
This is a full ammo crate, so instead of waiting for all those other ammo sources, I'm just gonna get back to full. Right now, this location isn't that important, but it will become more important as the cart starts to come around the corner. Set that right there so that it's a little bit better access. Hammer this up. I actually really like this map. Yeah, who cares? He got my teleporter, but it's a fucking nonsense waste of time to be running back and forth, because like these guys would have popped out and blown my shit up. I got killed by something else. I think that demo man was a spy, but they're about to get this point. We're not going to waste time rebuilding up all that shit and trying to get back to where these guys are. We're going to go to the roof instead, because the roof is more important to try and hold. The roof is right up there, so they're going to come around this bend, and we can hold them off pretty well if we can keep the roof, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. We're going to do a little trick where we build our dispenser right there. We're going to build our sentry gun right about there. And we're going to take this metal and jump on top of the dispenser. We're going to try, if we can, to get up here. Hopefully we don't get backstabbed or something while we're trying to do this. There we go. And we'll put the teleporter right up there so that it's harder to sap from spies and shit like that. If it's just on the ground here around with all of our other stuff, the spies will sap it easy as they just run by. But if it's up on top of that, they can't even see where it's at, and they'll have to figure it out and climb up there, and then usually they'll get killed in the process of trying to do all that. The other thing they can do is just go back to the spawn and kill the entrance. It saps both for some reason, so that kind of sucks, but yep. So we're already up here, ready, now that they've pushed past. We want to make sure we get up and hammer the fucking spy. We got to get this up quick. This fucking stupid scout is shooting our teleporter. We've scared him off with some big damage, and he didn't really accomplish anything that he wanted to do, so we'll call that a win for justice. God damn it, we couldn't get it up to level 2 in time because of all this fucking ammo issues that we're having, so yeah. So we have a sniper like behind us, coming from our side of the map, shooting me. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mouth-breathing fucking morons who can't even tie their shoes. That's why I can't get a sentry gun up. I mean, if there's like all these people fucking my shit up, what the rest is everybody else doing? Like, there shouldn't be this many people just, like, free bombing all my shit. Like, we have a whole goddamn team of people. Fucking do something. These goddamn fucking losers. Like, I shouldn't have to be doing all of this shit. So, it's very frustrating to me. So at least, you know, this other engineer feels my pain. He's up there trying to do it too. If we get killed right here, look, this map is like easy to defend on the last point, but I don't fucking care. After all of this trouble I put into just holding it, we could have won the game if we just held the roof. If we can't hold that roof with all these fucking people on our team, we're not going to hold this last point, and I'm not going to waste my time trying. So, let's find a game. I do like that map, but, I mean, you have to judge your match by the quality of your team. If you want to be a fucking die-hard, never say die, Buzz Lightyear, Infinity Beyond, Galaxy Quest, never surrender, be my fucking guest. Be my guest. Waste your time frustratedly trying to carry the mentally handicapped, but I'm not going to do that. I like things to be nice and even. I like things to be nice and even and fair. And if you're carrying a bunch of fucking dead weight against people who are, you know, they've taken off all of their weighted, you know, turtle school uniforms so that they can fucking go Super Saiyan 3, and you're just carrying a bunch of goddamn heavy-ass losers around your neck like an albatross, you're not going to win. That's not balanced. It's not fair. Be my guest. Try if you like. I'm not. We're on another team of stupid losers because you can see the whole fucking point is like guarded by 3 sentry guns. Nobody, I mean, like, he's so unmolested that he can sit there and fucking aim at me from halfway across the map.
Mission ends in 10 seconds.
Trying to get a good team in casuals is like trying to get a fucking AI to teach you Unity. It just makes a bunch of goddamn mistakes and you have to start over most of the time. Just standing here in the corner while these morons walk by, not noticing that I'm here. So I'm probably going to survive to the end of the round. Yep. Yep, I did it. I lived, even though we lost. So I don't know what to do next as far as trying to teach myself how to make this thing that I want. I might try again tonight just because, like, it's boredom more than anything else. Like, I'm so sick of modern culture. I'm sick of the pop culture. I'm sick of all of the things that I used to love are now like a pale facsimile of what they were. They're a shitty, watered down diet version of what they were, and it's slop for fucking morons, and the morons love it by the billions. It's trash, and fucking 10 billion people went to go see Spider-Man 4. So I just don't care anymore. Like I'm done with all that stuff. And so like everything I see online is just some fucking boring ass variation of that shit. And got that guy. I'm not interested in any of it. It's never going to get better as far as I feel. So, like, it would be insane to just sit there and doom scroll through it all night. I need other things to do. And one of those things, yeah, see, we're not letting this guy get built up with his little sentry gun this time. We came in late on a team of doo-doo heads that can't fucking spell their own name. And they just let the other team take over. But now we actually have some people who are kind of up here trying. We have the point capped and we're counting down to our victory. So it's going a little bit better in the second round. I died instantly from a grenade shot across the map. Excuse me. From a grenade shot across the map. Yeah, blow all these fucking buttholes up. Whip them, whip them. Hit them with the disciplinary action. Yep. So, I don't know if I'm going to try to use ChatGPT more. I've heard a lot of people doing things with Claude. I don't know about all. I've never used it, but I assume it's not significantly different enough from ChatGPT to be like, this is the one that's gonna do it. I don't really think that all the large language models are vastly that different. If I want a straight answer to a question about politics, you know, I'll ask ChatGPT versus Grok for various things. Grok is more honest about the things that Elon Musk is politically biased towards. And ChatGPT will definitely try to fucking like give you context and be your nanny and downplay any kind of conspiratorial ideas that you might have and all this other shit. Grok is less likely to do that, in my opinion. Beat you to death, you fucking asshole. Somebody else killed me first. It's the same dumb moron that's standing up on the cliff just spamming grenades across the fucking map, so we're gonna stick a baseball bat up his ass every time we can catch him. I don't know if there's a qualitative difference in game design between how Claude would advise me or ChatGPT or Grok. I've never used Claude, so I don't really know what it's like or capable of. I just can't imagine that it's that much different. As long as these guys are here busy with me, they're not capping the point, so we're not really wasting a whole lot by fucking with them. So we won that round, we're tied up. I'm gonna go ahead and taunt. Didn't matter, but we still got it in before the end. Dr. Fate and Boob Eater. I've never been more proud to be teamed up with somebody in assist than I am with Boob Eater. Yep, Dr. Fate was my old sort of online moniker because I love Dr. Fate. He's probably my #1 role model for comic books. If there was any hero or figure that I looked up to, it would be Dr. Fate, but a fate is something terrible that you suffer, and it's out of your hands. So I'd much rather have good fortune, and that's why I want to be Duck Fortune. You know, they roughly mean similar things. They're related for sure, but one is associated with glory and one is associated with inevitability. I bet it sounded cool when they were coming up with it, though. Put a bunch of damage on that guy. We're having a much better game and a much better day on Team Fortress than we were yesterday when we were trying to play with... Ooh, with... Thank you for the Uber charge, medic. You know, I don't get them often as a scout, but I admire your confidence in me, even though I don't think we killed a single fucking person. We did put some damage on people, but didn't get any kills with that Uber. I kind of want to research some more videos on Unity. I guess Unity's AI. I mean, you can try it out for free, and then you have to pay for it. And I don't know about paying for AI, folks, because I have before. I paid for Midjourney because Midjourney's capabilities to generate the kind of images that I'm asking it for are much better than Grok or ChatGPT's. So you might say, like, well, why would I pay for Midjourney when all it does is make pictures? You know, because I could just have ChatGPT and Grok do that. My friend is able to train his AIs to do a much better job at giving him what he wants. Yes, doggy, I hear. If it's not fucking Dracula or the Wolfman, I don't care. I hear you. It's my doggy barking in the background. She doesn't understand that I'm not scared of anybody but Dracula and the Wolfman. So I don't fucking care if somebody's home. Just let me know if we're being murdered. So yeah, Midjourney, I paid for it for a while because it's vastly better at generating the kind of images you want than your average free AI, in my opinion. It got a lot closer. I was able to make a realistic sort of picture of my character, Doc Fortune, where, I mean, he looked like a guy in the real world. You know, you would think that somebody made a costume of him and fucking put it on. It was so good. But whenever I tried to feed those images into, like, ChatGPT or Grok, like, it just mangled the image and it couldn't fucking, like, get anywhere close to what I wanted. However, there was a long time with Midjourney where I just paid $10 a month for it and didn't use it because it's not like, it's not useful to me because I can draw. I can make what I want. I can take exactly what I want out of my head and put it on the paper, and I don't need a fucking large language model to guess based on the vagrancies of language. So I would go long periods of time paying for it and not using it, and I eventually just canceled it. And I never used it so much that I ran out of my credits, but I don't like that whole thing where you have this many hours and this many credits, and this many blah, 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 blah. Because what if I get really into this project and I need it? I need all the resources long term to sort of build up what I'm trying to do. Like last night, through my project, ChatGPT kept warning me, like, hey, you want to pay for it? Because sometimes ChatGPT forgets long conversations. And I was like, well, ChatGPT brings up shit that I've asked it like a year ago in reference to new questions that I'm asking it. So how much does it remember and how much does it forget? Are you just trying to get me to pay for this shit? Like, I understand if you are, but I'm suspicious of that model or whether it's worth what you're going to pay. I don't know that it is. I can't say for sure. Just based on how frustrating it's been to try and actually get the free stuff to give me what I want and help me accomplish it. So far, it's wasted my time with a bunch of shit that didn't work. So I want to research Unity AI a little bit more and see if it can do better than just ChatGPT. But the thing is Unity AI is in beta. It's not like in, it's brand new. It's a newborn baby is what it feels like. So maybe it's not as adept at following instructions or pulling instructions. I don't know how much, if large language models just scrape the web for their info and then put it all together, or if they actually do kind of quote unquote learn over a long time where they can. We're just going to play medic. Do some medic for this. Be a team player for a change once in our lives instead of just doing what we want. They need it anyway. They have this stupid resistances medic instead of an overcharge, which some people seem to like it and say that it's strong. It's like one of the few ways in the game that you can get like bullet resistance, so I guess I kind of understand that. There's no fucking backstab resistance though. Wish I had that. I wish they would invent an item that takes up your secondary slot, but it's a fishbowl that goes on your head. And it protects you from one sniper headshot and then it breaks. Kind of like the way the sniper has a shield that he can wear on his back. It takes up his secondary weapon slot so you don't have a secondary weapon. But you're protected from being backstabbed. And, ooh, good. Reflect, Pyro. I knew that guy was a spy. So I was trying to get away from him. You can see he's up there still trying to catch us with a backstab. And we're about to lose. I don't know where all the fucking offense is on my team, but I haven't seen a goddamn soldier, a heavy. It's like one spy and a bunch of fucking assholes who are winning the game. What a waste of time. I don't want to be on this team again. What a waste of time. So my goal is to get the map made. Dota clones have a square map. It's slightly tilted at kind of a isometric angle, but only slightly. It's mostly like a top-down view, and then they use a lot of art and assets. Like, so the League of Legends map is basically flat, because if it's not flat, if there's all these like terrain and elevation things going on, then it fucks all your skill shots up. They don't travel the right way. They're trying to go like up elevations, or they're crashing into the fucking ground or whatever, and it just sucks. It doesn't work right. So League of Legends kind of has the illusion of depth. They like use perspective and flat, like a lot of their ground is just like a flat painting basically. And then some of the obstacles and terrain, like around in the jungle and the dragon and the Baron pit, are 3D objects, but they're not any higher than the rest of the map. It just kind of looks like they are based on the way that the, what do you call it, the cliffside's drawn, or the way that the ground is painted to make it look like elevation. So I have to find a way to do that. I have to find, which that's not hard to do. I have to basically create a fountain for both teams, caddy corner at the northwest and southeast sides of the map. I have to get 3 lanes going. One lane has to go right down the center of the square and bisect the map diagonally. And then I have to get the top and bottom lanes to go around the edges of the map. And you would think that like all of this would be fairly straightforward, simple shit for a robot to do, and it's surprisingly not. Like one time it gave me all these instructions, and then the lanes were drawn in a fucking Z across the map instead of like a, like a bisected diamond that overlays a square. It was like a Z. And I was like, this shit still does not look right. And it was like, oh, I understand now what you were trying to do. Instead of trying to blah, 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 blah. And it would fucking come up with something else. And it didn't actually understand what I was trying to do. Like, I think a lot of, especially ChatGPT and these other large language models are trained to talk to you like a fucking customer service rep, where it's like, oh, thank you for pointing that out. Now I understand what you were looking for better, and I can recommend a whole bunch of other goddamn things that aren't what you were talking about. So it kind of does that. It kind of tries to talk to you in this like very customer service sort of way. If anybody knows what they're doing or has any advice, feel free to comment or leave it in the chat. But if you don't, that's okay. I really don't have any idea what I'm doing. I really want just a version of the games that I love that aren't cheating me with some sophisticated psychological manipulation. And that's basically what all skill-based matchmaking and engagement-optimized matchmaking and all that shit is, just a sophisticated form of psychological operation that is designed to manipulate you or keep you feeling addicted or to punish you if you said a cuss word that they don't like. Now they feel like you're a rude player and they're going to stick you with a bunch of other rude players. And it's like, me personally, I feel like talking shit and talking trash and getting good at like having the mental capacity to withstand people talking shit to you and trying to rage bait you, that is part of the game. That's part of competition. Like in basketball and other sports, people shit talk you. They try to get in your head, and it's a legitimate strategy. And in online video games, everybody has to be fucking nice, and they can't say a cuss word, and they can't tell somebody that's deliberately ruining the game on purpose that they're a piece of shit scumbag and that they should stick their head in a toilet until they fucking drown. And I think, as an American, with the First Amendment, it's my God-given right to tell you that you fucking suck at this game and you should stick your head in the toilet until you drown yourself. I don't think I should be put in a loser's queue for that. I don't think I should be permanently confined to iron forever because China doesn't like the way that I fucking behave socially in conversations with their other players. None of that shit matters to me in competition. What matters to me is how well you can execute. If you are a fucking scumbag, skinhead, N-word saying Nazi and you're just fucking better at the game than me, like, I want to beat you. I don't want you to just get cheated and for the sake of some fucking political whatever, like to make you feel bad and to hurt your feelings, and like you'll never make it to diamond rank. Like, I want to beat you fair and square with my skill, and I want to rub it in your fucking face, and I want you to fucking cry about it and lay awake in bed at night thinking about things you should have said to hurt my feelings better because you're just that fucking crappy at it. That's what I want. And so I hate all this manipulation that they do, and I just want a version of the game that doesn't do that stuff. Like, I don't feel like anything that I say or do should have an impact on whether or not I'm allowed to be in a queue with people who are going to actually try and win the game, right? A lot of people in those negative queues are lumped in together with other people for different reasons, but the game definitely is like trying to punish you. It's trying to punish you for being mean or being a bad sport or saying a cuss word that the game doesn't like, or but it doesn't just do that to bad sports. It does it to everybody. Like, everyone you watch at every level of the game, from bronze to challenger, complains about how the system works, which means it's not just like an excuse, it's not cope, it's not something that one person is saying to excuse why they're not good enough at the game as they think that they should be. It literally is happening to every fucking person who plays the game, good or bad, at every level of the game. And enough of that shit. Like, I just want to play the things that I like without having to figure out how to beat that. I don't. The mini game of tricking the matchmaking system is the worst fucking part of all modern games. which is why I don't play games like that anymore. I don't play Marvel Rivals. I don't play League of Legends, even though I like them and I miss them. They are graphically beautiful and mechanically challenging, and I like the competition of it, but it's not real. It's all cheating. So the whole impetus behind this basically is for me to get a version of those games that I can play without being exploited by Riot Games or NetEase or whoever. I mean, the American games do it too. Call of Duty has done it forever. Pretty much any game with a modern matchmaking system where it's like, God damn, I won 10 games in a row, but then I lost 10 games in a row. I was so good that I won 10 times, but then I became so terrible at the game that I lost 10 times. Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Obviously, something is going on there, and everybody who plays these games senses it. They feel it, they know it in their bones, but they get like gaslit by the other people who have a vested interest in maintaining the legitimacy of the ranks, so that they can, keep their access, so that they can keep being a streamer. Instead of getting a real fucking job, they can just stream Marvel Rivals 24 hours a goddamn day. Like, that's the reason that they take those positions, not because they don't understand that the system is rigged. They fucking understand. They just know better than to talk about it because, they'll get warned by the company that makes their livelihood possible, and then they might not be able to do the little shitty child job that they have instead of getting a real fucking job where they have to go deliver Amazon packages or bust ass for some evil fucking heartless corporation that's just trying to wait until they're so sick of the fucking job that they quit and get turned over, and then the company can harvest a new crop of desperate little hungry doe-eyed capitalists who are going to come in and break their back and go the limit above and beyond and prove that they're the guy that should get the promotion, whereas they're never getting that promotion. You're such a hard worker. If we promote you out of this position, who's going to do all the work now? We got to keep you at the bottom because you're the bitch who does everything. So don't waste your time on that is what I'm saying. But that's the same sort of companies that are running these games. So I don't know why you would think they're benevolent and honest and straightforward. They're not. None of them are. They don't have any respect for you as a customer or a person. They are the makers of something and you are the consumer of something, and they consider you a lower life form, and they just want to know how to exploit you and get your money. That's it. How to just get what they want out of you, manipulate you through addiction and gaslighting, brainwashing, and all that shit. Speaking of games that I don't play anymore, there's a genre of games that are, I don't know what you call them. They're like a gacha version of a JRPG where you just have like 4 or 5 little dudes on a team in a turn-based fight. The kind of game that I'm talking about is Marvel Strike Force or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They're almost identical games when you get down to it, just the skins are different. And I used to play a version called Disney Sorcerer's Arena because I'm a fucking nerd that likes cartoons. It is now defunct. That game doesn't exist anymore. It went out of business because I don't know. I guess either Disney was on the decline or the company that made it got what they wanted out of it and just cashed out before they lost anything. But I mean, it progressively became worse and more predatory as time went on, so it's not the biggest loss in the world. But it was a game where I could have, Beast from Beauty and the Beast fighting Donald Duck, and I could see who would win. And I like that kind of shit. I like having a wide variety of heroes and characters, maybe from even different genres or multiverses, and just fucking throw them in the mix, and let's give them all stats, and let's see who would win. I love that kind of shit. So I really would like to try and maybe import, especially the characters that are based on, like, what do you call them? Sorry, I'm preoccupied here. The characters that are based on fair use or public domain characters, fairy tale characters, Beauty and the Beast, Snow White, Cinderella, all that shit. It would be cool to get all those kind of characters and do my own take on them, throw them in the game. There would be like a lot of original characters and a lot of characters that are just sort of based off of other things. Like I always wanted to have the, instead of the Care Bears, you have the Swear Bears, and each one of them has a specific curse word that they have to say to shoot their magic beam out of their tummy or whatever the fuck it is the Care Bears do. The Care Bear swear! Always thought that would be a funny sort of person to throw into my multiplayer online battle arena, my Dota clone. Have a Rick James based character. I kind of wanted to have a variety of different announcers that you could choose from. Like League of Legends has a nice sounding old lady or an elf or something, tells you, you know, welcome to Summoner's Rift, and she announces whether you're getting a kill streak or whether you're being dominated or whether you're legendary or any of that shit. But instead of a sweet old lady, what if it was Samuel L. Jackson and he was roasting you for losing? You know, that could be a fun character to play as well. Or an announcer to have, sort of narrating what's going on. What if you could switch the announcer to Morgan Freeman or Ace Ventura or any variety of sort of different voices? Why you gotta stick with just, you know, there's a lot of things you could customize in the game that would make it more fun for you. And they haven't capitalized on that. Most games are monetized on doll clothes. Like they sell you a cosmetic for your character, and I mean, look, here I am, the Pyro, with all these cosmetics and shit on. So it works. I'm not saying it's a bad move, but you know, having more cosmetic and auditory things that you could sell and buy in your game would not be a bad idea. I think you could have different announcers. I don't know about map skins. Could be possible. Could be easier with a more modern game. It seems like they don't change the maps very much in Dota clones. For balance purposes, even like the color of the map can maybe alter the balance of the game some if it makes certain heroes easier or harder to see. So you have to think about those things when you're making like even a change that might seem significant. Had to separate that guy from his Pyro so we could kill him. We got him. We got killed by somebody else, but he's dead, so. But yeah, I mean, all of this effort. Here's what I predict. It's going to end in me maybe having like a barely serviceable game that nobody's going to fucking play. I don't think my friends are even into this genre of game anymore. Like one of my friends just fucking hates it. And he's not interested at all. But he was never addicted like I was. And, you know, he likes other shit more. Zombies, anyway. Zombies are fine with me, but they're not my first choice of any kind of genre. I don't hate them. I'm not averse to them. I would play in games about zombies and I would have a good time, but I like more fantastical things. If I had my first pick, it would be some shit like superheroes or high fantasy, so, or even like a space opera, Star Wars kind of style settings. Those things I prefer a lot more. I like a wide variety of creatures and powers and abilities and looks. I don't want a bunch of fucking army guys who are sweaty and dirty and on their last fucking can of Spam trying to figure out how to live another day in a world of... I mean, that's my life all fucking ready. I don't It's not a fantasy for me to fucking live in that world. Like, it's our life is already hard. I don't need a fantasy where everything's shittier and worse. Like, that's not, I mean, I need escapism. Got some crits there. I don't think they're getting this cart, fam. I don't think they're getting... So far, we've had some medics. I gotta say, God bless them. They're really good medics this round. We should be thankful for that. I got shot with a piss gun that made me all pissy. Joke's on you. I was already pretty pissy. It's sort of a lifestyle choice. Get this guy off of the cart so that he can't heal them. I just set him on fire and then hit him with an air blast so he was pushed away from his teammates. Give him a bunch more problems to worry about. So yeah, my main concern is having a bunch of superheroed people that look cool from various genres and backgrounds and multiverses, and throwing them in a match and seeing who would win. That shit is the most interesting, dynamic sort of drama that a game can provide for me. Yeah, that guy was backpedaling, so I couldn't hit him with the melee, but I switched back to the flamethrower and set his ass on fire because it reaches significantly further than my melee weapon does. To be perfectly fair to my my buddy Evil Ugg, who loves zombies so much, zombies are only one of many genres that I'm kind of like... I'm sick of Tolkien fantasy. I'm sick of fucking elves and orcs and hobbits. If I never fucking hear another goddamn story about a hobbit ever again for the rest of my life, it'll be too soon. It's just boring. You know, I think Lord of the Rings is good. And Lord of the Rings, the books, that's all I need ever again for the rest of my life. I don't need a fucking Forgotten Realms. I don't need a Dragonlance. I don't need Rings of Power. I'm good. I got the Lord of the Rings books, and I'm sick of that shit. It's been done to death at this point. Sick to fucking death of Tolkien-style fantasy. I got somebody, but I got sniped by a dickless loser. I'm almost sick of I wouldn't say modern gothic horror, just specifically Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade is the first tabletop RPG that I ever learned to play, and of all the games that I've played at the tabletop, like, I've definitely got the most hours in Vampire the Masquerade. And, I mean, I've played so many characters and done so many things and tried so many different classes and achieved so many different personal goals. It's like, well, we need to do something else. I'm sick of this. We do this because it's the one everybody knows every time. We do this because it's comfortable and everybody knows how to do it, and it's the one that we all remember the rules to, and it's also the one where, like, I am least tolerant of other people's first time experiences. Like, I don't care about your, like, stock standard vampire experience. I don't care about, like, I don't want to do a scene where we're, like, feeding and we have to seduce the blah, 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 blah. And then we have to, I don't give a fuck about all that shit. Just relegate it to the background because it's not very interesting to me at all. And not because it's not, like, can't be compelling. It's because I've done it 10 million times. 10 million fucking times. How many times do I have to seductively talk about what I'm going to do to a lady's neck before I just get my fucking blood points back? Like, I don't really have tolerance for new player experiences in that game because I've played it 10 million times. It's so, I'm like waiting for that shit to be over so that I can get back to fucking tearing people's heads off with, you know, feral claws or whatever it is that I'm doing. Oh, these loser ass snipers. I gotta find a way to get to this guy, but I can't. There's too much interference. Too many bombs and fucking heavies and dickheads standing in the fucking way between me and this loser looking through a scope. I don't know how we got on that subject of tabletop RPGs, but it is something that I'm trying to get more back into. To me, I am more interested in new systems. I'm more interested in I don't care about winning. I just want to kill this fucking sniper. We can lose the goddamn game as long as I ruin his life and his fun and I make it... Yep, there's another spy trying to get him. As long as I make him feel like he wasted his time playing this game and that he should have done something better with his life, then that's all that matters to me. So he's going to wait here to hit us with his little bullshitty, faggoty like thing that he's going to do. And then we're going to turn invisible and we're going to run around over here and try to put on... Yep, piss jar. Looking for you, you dumb cum sucker. Because at least if you're killing me, you're not sniping anybody. All we're going to do is just harass the snipers for the rest of the game. We'll just pull out our dead ringer. That way we can take some stupid damage from people.
30 seconds.
Pick all this up, get our stuff back.
Mission ends in 10 seconds.
Didn't even get a backstab on that guy. I think we're going to win anyway. So that's nice. Can we get any cheeky backstabs? Oh, we don't need to. We still got one though. One backstab is better than none. Yep. I apologize if you're offended by the gamer words that I said, but this game just brings it out in me. Try to avoid that kind of stuff streaming. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm not embarrassed to say the word or any word really. I just, you know, I just don't want to rub people the wrong way. It's easier to be nice and polite than it is to be rude and mean, but games bring out frustration like that in you. And I come from a time when, you know, they would call people a slur in a PG-13 movie for children. Like, we didn't used to get our feelings as hurt by everything. And so, some things that just seem to come out as like a off-the-cuff remark don't register in the minds of, you know, Gen X and early millennials as being something that's offensive or a no word. We never had those. Mentality as far as how these things work changes generationally, right? Like in the early 80s, movies with big stars like Eddie Murphy and, like, I'm thinking of 48 Hours specifically, Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. Nick Nolte just calls him the N-word like a lot through the whole fucking movie. And today we would be like, why would you make a movie where they do that? But back then, like, that was pushing a boundary, and they considered it like brave and kind of like taking a bold risk to do those kind of things. You know, like, I watched a documentary on the National Lampoons guys who made National Lampoons and all those movies, Vacation, European Vacation, Christmas Vacation. And they were very much of that. They were like Harvard guys who were very much of that mentality where it's like, it was a freedom of speech issue, right? Everybody was trying to tell them things that they could and couldn't say, and they were like, no, we're going to say it, and there's nothing that you can fucking do because we have a First Amendment right in this country, right? So I guess there was an idea or a mentality that it was sort of a thing that you did to show that you were a courageous maker of art. But of course, you know, we have the woke mentality, as they call it now. It was called something different when I was a kid. It was called being politically correct. And basically what political correctness means is a bunch of politicians like Hillary Clinton and Tipper Gore, you know, they fuck children and drink blood and eat babies, but they want to scold you about what kind of cuss words you use. And so they fucking did all this shit to get ratings put on video games. That's why you hear games are rated T for teen. Thanks, Tipper Gore. And parental advisory for explicit lyrics on albums and shit like that. So there was kind of this like cultural push against anything that tried to limit your speech, and saying like a what we call them gamer words, slurs and insults, was kind of this like brave thing that you could do to show that you didn't give a fuck and that you weren't going to play by those rules. Which is why I would attribute like 90% of Eminem's success to this mentality. Because I dated some younger girls who thought he was awful, and it surprised me because, you know, I had seen him get on stage and hug Elton John and shit like that. I didn't think he was some homophobic, like, I thought he was just saying it to piss people off, and I thought that that was funny. It took me a while to kind of understand that sensitivity. I still don't understand it. I don't get it, and words don't hurt my feelings. I played League of Legends for 10 years. There's nothing that you can do to hurt my feelings. I've been called every horrible thing in the book, and I've had every mean thing that can be said to me, because that's what people do in these competitive games. They get mad that they're losing, and they make a fucking childish fool of themselves in all chat, insulting people. This is just my stream. If you're watching that, you know, I'm not typing shit in the chat or saying it in voice to people. You're listening to me complain to myself, and I don't know what to say if those kind of things bother you, except that it's your own goddamn fault for being here. It's not going to change. I try to rope it in so that I'm not uncouth. I like to be, you know, as courteous as the next chap. I don't want my entire personality to just be a bunch of fucking curse words and slurs, so I try to rope it in. But I'm not, like, ideologically opposed to it. I do think people who just say those things flippantly, like, without even knowing you, like, if you're just around somebody and they drop words like that, like, first of all, it kind of gives you a good idea of the kind of person you're dealing with. For better or worse, you can be like, all right, I know some things about this motherfucker. But it also, they're testing you to see if you're cool with it. Like, I don't have like a political alignment anymore because I have been tricked into caring my whole life by liars. Like, every politician that I've ever thought was good or decent, or I voted for, or he had my best interest, turns out he didn't. Turns out he got into office and did whatever the fuck he wanted, regardless of the lies that he's told me to sell me and get me to fucking vote for him. So I don't have any faith. If you're still a left or right person, I just can't. Just shut up. I don't want to hear your opinions, because there is no, like, left and right. There's one side that's pretending to be two different things, and they're both after the same outcomes. They just say what you want to hear to get you to vote for them. And then once they're in office, they pursue the same agenda, which is the agenda of the rich and the elite. But conservative guys will do that to you a whole lot. Like when I worked for Coca-Cola or other various blue-collar jobs where it's just a bunch of hard work. I mean, a lot of times you're going to be riding around with good old boys who will train you. And at that time, I considered myself left. leftist and very left. And I would stick up for my stances and positions. I'm not going to let somebody just say some dumb shit that I don't agree with and let it stand for the purposes of being polite. I'll push back. But they would do that. They would, you know, drop the N-word or talk about Arabs or talk about this or that or fucking how much they didn't like Barack Obama or whatever. And they were like feeling you out to see if you were cool. Like, am I going to be able to say the N-word while I'm riding around with this guy, or do I got to fucking walk around on eggshells and pretend like I'm fucking not this racist piece of shit? Like, they do that to you. And left guys do that shit to you too, to be honest. I rode with this guy when I was a public safety officer at a college who was a leftist, and he was fucking insufferable. I couldn't stand him because he wanted to just... They like to argue and bitch and fight, like, because it's the only way that they can feel like they're winning a goddamn cause, all right? Like, they're not going to pick up a gun and go start a revolution. They're not going to go to fucking Occupy Wall Street and stand outside in the rain and get beat up by police. They're not going to do any of that shit. But what they will do is they'll drag you into a bunch of stupid fucking pointless arguments while you're trapped in a patrol car with them, right? And that's what this guy did. He was full-blown lefty, and I couldn't fucking stand him. Even though I considered myself more sympathetic to like left-leaning sort of views, and now I'm in the middle. There's things that I support, like Second Amendment, that most lefties just will not ever see eye to eye with me on. But I'm like, all the bad guys have guns. I think I should be able to have one too. The bad guys are breaking the law, and I don't want to be fucking held at the mercy of somebody who doesn't give a fuck what your stupid laws are. I want to be able to defend myself. So, I'm big on that. I think it's one of the good amendments, and I think our forefathers were smart to put it in there. They say you become more conservative with age, and to some degree that's true, but it's only because so much of leftism is a big fucking lie to just get you in the door. Like, they'll lie to you all goddamn day long and pretend, oh my gosh, women's rights and trans rights and gay rights and people of color. They'll pretend like they care about that shit all goddamn day long. But they don't. I'm sorry to tell you. It's a fucking scam. You're being exploited. And I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know who to tell you who to go support, like, besides the lefties, because the fucking right doesn't have your best interest in their heart either. They just fucking care about money and keeping what they got, you know? And I mean the left too. Like, the old joke is, if you ever watch, there's an old sitcom called Married with Children, and Al Bundy is kind of a... Damn, did we win or we lose? I guess we lost. I definitely don't want to play again on a losing team. The Bundys were kind of like the average conservative, which was a lot more level-headed, right? People have been pushed into extreme camps now, so left and the right all seem like extreme positions now. But back then, people were kind of more or less like agreed on most things, and they were split over a couple of issues. So you'd have the Bundys, who were sort of like the blue-collar conservative, working class, and then their neighbors were the Darcys, who were sort of the... They were sort of the making fun of the lefties and the liberals, right? And so the joke with the Darcys is they always acted really like principled, and they stood on these social positions like to the death, but ultimately, like, the real motivation was they were fucking greedy and they just wanted money. When push came to shove, they would always take the money over their principles. So that was like the traditional joke. And I think now we're finally seeing, like, whether you're on the left or on the right, the people who claim to represent you in your government could not fucking care less if you live or die. They could. They're trying to figure out ways to get rid of you. As a matter of fact, the rich and the powerful have always thought that there's too many goddamn people in the world for them to manage properly. And so we got to figure out how to get rid of about half of them. Fucking, then we can get the rest of them into labor camps. And like, they've always been trying to get back to slavery and monarchy, really, is like how do we get rid of all this fucking voting and freedom? And we just we want people to be serfs again. Like, how do we get our slaves back? And so they invented, you know, a form of capitalism that is basically monarchy. It's basically just like 5 or 6 people in the world control most of the fucking money, and everybody else can just fucking eat shit and struggle for scraps. So largely, I just do not fucking care about politics. I don't care who you vote for. It's all like Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, Disney bullshit to me. It's not real. It doesn't mean anything. You're wasting your fucking time if you vote. Except locally, I'll give you that. I think maybe there's like one sort of scenario where you have some say, and it's in your local elections. Your town, your city council, the people who live in your community and who are around you, those can be influenced and taken over. And because that's the strategy that the neoconservatives used in the 90s and the 80s when I was a kid, right? Like, Bill Clinton fucking was the president for all that time, and he played the saxophone and got his dick sucked, and everybody loved him. And so they were like, God damn, how do we do this? How did we lose after Reagan? We thought, you know, everybody loved Reagan. I don't have strong feelings about him one way or the other, but I'm sure he was a part of some nefarious, evil bullshit, because they all were. So don't come at me with your fucking Reagan hero worship. I don't want to hear that shit. But he's not as bad as some of them. And he was definitely, like, popular for the time. I think he gets credit for, like, the Berlin Wall falling and shit. That really was stuff that was already in motion before he even came on the scene, and probably had very little to do with him. Like, our country is kind of run by, it's like a mixture of death-worshipping cultists who just want to fucking reduce the population, and the military-industrial complex. So somewhere between those two spectrums, you know, death-worshipping rich people who want to fucking drink blood and eat your babies, and guys who just need endless war to constantly fill their pocketbooks. It's really like kind of the dynamic that you're really dealing with when you're, if you're being honest with yourself about politics. That's really your only choices. You're going to have to figure out where you stand between death-worshipping cultists who want to kill half the population, and people who made all of their money off of war and death and just need it to continue. They need constant more war and death and reasons to spend all their bombs and bullets and justify spending 51% of our budget on more bombs and bullets. So I don't know what to tell you. Good luck. Look after yourself. Buy a gun. Carry it. You have the right. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Do everything you can to become independent. Reduce your reliance on systems and other people. And programs and handouts. You don't ever want to be dependent on a bunch of people who do whatever they want after you vote them in and couldn't fucking care less if you live or die. That's all I'm saying. Don't put your faith in them. Don't put the outcome of the country or your life in their hands, because really what they want to do is just figure out how to turn you into property again. Like, that's the goal. Phoebes called somebody a dork-ass loser. There's a good chance he's right. I don't know who he was calling. If it's not me, then I'm willing to believe that about almost anybody who plays this game. We're trying to hold this last control point. We're doing well so far, but there's 4 minutes left. I don't know how it's going to go. If you're sick of TF2, I'm sorry, and I don't blame you. It's just something that I can have on and do while, hang on, I'm checking something, while I'm talking to you about whatever horse shit I'm talking to you about. So, yep. We're going to try to start up another series for Final Fantasy Tactics. I'm going to try to do a playthrough where we 100% it, or basically get every item and character and secret and map and everything there is to see or do in the game. We're going to try to do it. Oh, I got auto balance right before we won the game. That's nice for a change. We're about to lose, and now I don't even have to. I got auto balance to the team that was winning. So yeah, probably Friday and Saturday. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do, but some of it's definitely going to be a Final Fantasy Tactics stream. So if you're interested in seeing that, tune in. We'll try to get you through the whole game so that you can see all of the cool stuff in it. It's one of my favorite games of all time. We'll do some long streams. If I can figure out, I might break it up into like pieces or episodes, but odds are it's probably just going to be long, chunky streams. So if you like that kind of thing, tune into it. I might start streaming as I go through Unity and try to figure out how to make it work and to learn it and to teach it and to make my game. So if you're interested in watching a process of trying to teach yourself how to play or how to make games in an engine like Unity, using ChatGPT and other tools wherever we can. I'm not a programmer. I don't know C#. I'm not comfortable or familiar with the user interfaces. So you'll really get to see how kind of a layperson does it, and you might learn something yourself. I might learn something. I'm probably going to learn how to do it wrong and start over. That's my experience last night from working on it for 3 or 4 hours. So we're going to call the stream here. Thanks for watching and playing along, and we'll see you next time.